Is Vicky there?
Yeah, she's
Say
here.
hi, Vicky.
She's standing here leading us. Okay, so
Having heart
good evening
attacks?
to everybody in the audience, and welcome to our digital SIG. And we're trying something brand new, so be patient if it doesn't work. So far, it looks pretty good, but I don't know. I think everybody remembers that Chris and Jim are the Geeks on Tour, and they were here in person in June, and they're coming back virtually to kind of a follow-up to answer questions. And Vicki, what do you want to say?
Well, I wanted to thank them for doing this because I think it's a really nice follow-up after their visit here that we get a chance to ask some questions maybe that came up after you went home and done these programs on your own. And I also wanted to thank them for helping me set up this thing out online because Jimmy's been interested in starting this for the club. I have to thank Judy because I was planning to do some of this myself and I'm finding it really difficult. Maybe it's my old laptop that I can blame for some of the problems. But she agreed to be wingman at first, which means, she would take care of some of the comments and things. But it's turning out that she has become, I think, my navigator. And so I'm really thankful for her to help with this on. And I think it's
Hey,
real awesome for her time to broadcast this and also as an archive.
hey, Judy.
Yes.
Judy, I can hear that Vicky is talking, but I can't understand her. Maybe could she come closer to your computer?
Yeah,
Because I could understand you just fine.
You need to come here because this is my built-in speaker,
Okay.
so you need to
I
come
have to stand on
closer.
this side or I'm in the.
All right. All right.
There, that is better.
Welcome. I think we'll probably delay the rest of the things until later. There is one thing I'd like to mention to everyone if you're interested in a little photo workshop that's kind of fun. Channel Cat is offering some later this month. I think it's the 19th is one of the days, maybe the 21st, maybe the first house. But he and I have both been on this before, and maybe some other people. But it's fun, and if you're interested in learning more about that, you can stay afterwards. But I'd like to give most of our time tonight to Chris and Jim and let you guys ask your questions. So I think with no further ado,
Yes, I think we'll
talk a little more later about it.
So we'll turn it over to you guys.
Okay. Well, we do hope that people have some questions, but I am prepared to kind of get started with something specific. So is that okay? I was going to start off with pictures going to Dropbox from a phone and then going to Google Plus and looking at the difference between Google Plus and Picasa web albums. So those I think that kind of follows up. When we were there in June, we did a fair amount on Dropbox. So I was thinking about starting with Dropbox specifically for photos.
I think that sounds good.
And then we'll open it up to questions. And if you have a question while I'm presenting, then that's fine too. But I do get the impression from the way the sound is in the room, you probably are going to have to repeat the question, Judy. Either that or have them come up right where you are.
Okay.
Okay, because I can understand you just fine, but didn't hear Vicky too well.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay. So we are coming to you from the Olympic Peninsula in Washington, and we went to the Olympic National Park yesterday, and as you can imagine, we took a lot of pictures. Most of the pictures I took with my Android smartphone, my Samsung Galaxy S5, because it just takes such great pictures. But I did also take my big my Canon camera with the big lens. That's what I've decided, that really the only reason for me to take this camera anymore is for the big lens, because that's the only thing that the smartphone can't do is good telephoto. So we got back, and first, step one, I took the card out of this camera and put into the computer, and I transferred all those pictures to the My Pictures folder on the computer. But then, how did I get the pictures from the phone? We like to use Dropbox for that. And one of our videos, and one of the videos that Vicki has to show you afterwards, if it works that way, shows how you just install the Dropbox app on your phone and you change the setting. Actually, should I show that? How many people have Dropbox installed on? How many people take pictures with a phone, first of all, with a smartphone?
Oh, 6 or 8 maybe.
Okay, a few. Well, when you get newer phones, you will take a lot, trust me, because they are so good. So I installed Dropbox on here and checked the little box that says camera upload. What that does is every picture taken with the phone gets uploaded to my Dropbox account in the cloud and downloaded to my computer. So that's what I'm going to show you. I left those pictures in my Dropbox folder from yesterday to show you my process. So I'm going to switch to screen share now. And okay, hopefully that's the right one. And move that over there. Okay. So now you're just seeing my email because that's what's on my screen. But my Dropbox icon is down here in the lower right-hand corner, and if I double-click on it, okay, this is all the folders in my Dropbox. The camera upload feature creates this special folder called Camera Uploads. And without doing a thing other than taking the picture with my phone, I come back to my computer, and here are all the pictures I took yesterday with my phone on the Olympic Peninsula. So then what I do is I say, well, that's great, thank you very much, Dropbox and camera uploads, but that's not where I want them. Where do I want my pictures? Where do you guys put your pictures? On your computer. In the My Pictures folder, I hope, yes?
Yes.
Yes? So, and are you all Windows? Is there any Macintosh people there?
I think we're one Macintosh.
Okay. Well, on Macintosh, I'd be talking about still the Pictures folder, and I'd be talking about using Finder to do this process. I'm on Windows, and I'm using Windows Explorer. So I'm just going to select all of these pictures. How do you do that? Click on the first one, shift-click on the last one, or shift-click on the... Come on. Or Control-A. Control-A selects all pictures. And I'm going to right-click and cut them from the Dropbox Camera Uploads folder so that I can put them into the Pictures folder. And my system, your system could be very different, but my system is I just keep all the pictures I take every month in a folder by that month. So here's 2014-07, July. And I just right-click anywhere and paste. Okay, so now all the pictures I took with my smartphone yesterday are on my computer in the Chris Gould Pictures 2014-07. And notice what just popped up. Google Plus Auto Backup, backing up 40 remaining photos, about 40 minutes left. Actually, I'm going to tell that to stop. See this little icon down here in the lower right-hand corner? It still has the Picasa colors, you know, the Google yellow, red, green, blue, but it looks more like a pinwheel than the Picasa logo. I click on that and I tell it to pause because that's using up my internet connection right now. But what was it that triggered that? Anybody there using, anybody besides Judy? I know Judy is using auto backup. No?
Anybody using auto backup?
Understand what it's all
That's
Okay.
true. Okay, nobody really is, I guess, except me.
Okay. Well, if you have a good free, or not free, but unlimited internet connection, you will love having Google Plus Auto Backup. It takes every picture in your My Pictures and uploads it to Google Plus
Do you have to
privately.
have a Google account?
Yes,
First
you
of
have to have a Google Plus
Okay.
account. Okay, but back to, so those were my pictures I took with the smartphone yesterday, automatically put on my computer, and I just moved them to My Pictures. Now, why did I move them to My Pictures? Because that's where Picasa expects to find. So now I'm going to open up Picasa, and you might notice I am on Windows 8. Some
Aha.
people have had questions about whether or not Picasa works with Windows 8. Yes, it does. So now I open up Picasa, and it is automatically finding all the pictures that have just been put in the 201407. And let's look at them. Now, July has been an incredible month for us. We started in Colorado, traveled through Idaho and Washington State. I have over 1,000 pictures for this month. You can see that number over on the left. Can people see that? So it says for 2014-07, I have 1,062 pictures. For 2014-06, I have 492. You can see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Okay, so I have a lot of pictures in this folder. What I'm actually going to do is go to the next folder down and then scroll up, because the latest date pictures, the ones I took yesterday, will be at the bottom of the July folder. So here are the pictures I took yesterday. And just to prove, I will open one, and that is the Olympic Peninsula. If I click on the information panel, it shows that that was taken with a Samsung camera. And the only Samsung camera I have is my smartphone, SMG900V, and taken yesterday, July 27. All right. Any questions so far, just about what I just did?
Any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
If you've edited your pictures in Picasa,
Yes.
you approve them, whatever, is that what goes to the Google backup, auto backup?
Okay. I heard that question just fine, Judy.
Oh,
She
good.
says, yeah, she said if I edit this picture in Picasa, is that what goes to the auto backup? Now, remember that auto backup already did its thing. So it got my original pictures. To my knowledge, it doesn't re-backup. So if I change this now, so I'm in Picasa and I say that that's the picture I want, that does not get auto backed up, because auto backup has already done its thing. As soon as those pictures hit, it already did its thing. I'm pretty sure. Now, if I save this, if I saved it so that the picture on disk looked like that, I'm actually not positive, but I'm pretty sure auto backup will not notice that that's been saved and back it up. But here's the thing. I don't really, the auto backup is just like a, let me see. I'm gonna go back so you see my face. The auto backup is like your really kind, brother Joe, who knows how important your pictures are to you, and kind of behind your back makes sure that he has made a copy of every single picture you ever took. You don't then use those pictures that Uncle Joe made a copy of unless you're missing one and you say, oh my God, where is that picture? I loved that picture. I don't know where it is. Uncle Joe always makes a copy of every one of my pictures, right? I don't know if that analogy completely holds water, but that's the purpose of the auto backup from Google+. It's just an original copy, and it's in a huge warehouse, if you will. It's just a warehouse of all of your original pictures. Hopefully, you will never need to use it. But it's free as long as you have agreed to limit the size of your pictures. You won't be uploading your total original size. You have to agree to limit it to 2048 pixels. But 2048 pixels is plenty big enough if you're working on the web. Now, if you're a professional photographer and you need to print, no, you need a backup of your originals. But
what size would that print?
What size would 2048 print? I just never print, so I really don't know the answer to that. Anybody? Anybody there?
Technical in here with pixels? Okay, one other question. If you want to access that backup on Google Backup from another computer, so now you're going to just get the smaller size, right?
Yes. Yes. But I say 2048 is plenty. I think that would make even an 8x10 decent. So actually, I could see that. I'm going to switch back to my screen.
Okay. Jack.
Okay, I have an iPhone, but I have a Windows computer at home. So are those two going to be compatible to do what you're doing?
Did you hear any of that?
I did not understand that.
Okay.
You're going to have to repeat.
He has an Apple iPhone, but he has a Windows computer, right? He just wants to make sure that if he backs up, if that's going to work.
Okay, well, perfect. I have an iPad, so I will, and in fact, let let this backup continue now. Resume. Oh, let me switch. No, I'm just going to let the backup continue now. I'm clicking on resume backup, and I am going to go over to the demonstration. So I'm going to keep talking. So Judy, you need to blue box the Jim Dash Chris screen.
All right.
And I'll okay. So now let's just a second. You should be seeing the iPad.
Yes, we do.
All right. So the Google Plus is a cloud storage service. So it doesn't matter what device you're accessing it on. So I have Google Plus installed on here.
That's not real clear, though.
No? Hmm. Don't know what to do. It's connected to you, I believe. Because he says that it's not real clear, and maybe I can clear it up by changing my network connection.
All they see right now is the avatar.
Oh, it's that bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm switching internet connections then on this device to see if we can get the screen better.
It wasn't bad here.
Oh, yeah?
No,
Uh-oh.
I didn't think so.
Okay.
Well, it's just
Except now we've just got your
picture.
what do you call
Right.
it? Your
Right.
icon
Avatar.
picture.
But you can see me, so that's okay, right?
Getting there.
I said if you can see me, everything's going to be fine, right? Okay, you just came back in, Chris.
Okay, but is it showing?
No, I see.
iPad?
I think I see your head.
Yeah, you just have to turn this camera around. There you go. There's the iPad. And that looks better.
To you. How about you to you, Judy?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a little fuzzy, but it's just a glare, I think.
Okay. So you can see that is the Google Plus icon?
We can see that Google Plus button.
Alrighty. So I tap on Google Plus, and this is my device, so it's all set up with my account. And you first go to Google Plus, you're seeing the social network part of it. But the little menu in the upper left-hand corner, those 3 dashes means menu. You tap there, and there's photos. So now I'm looking at my Google Plus photos, and there are the pictures that I took yesterday using the phone that got automatically transferred to Dropbox on my Windows computer, which I then put into the My Pictures, and at that point they got noticed by Google+. Now you might ask, well, why don't you just let your phone upload straight to Google+, set up backup on the phone, and you could do that. But then they're not on your computer. So I know that gets a bit complex. So I really had to give it some thought to say, well, what is my process going to be?
That helps me. I took a few pictures with my phone the other day, but they went right to backup, I guess. And then I was trying to figure out how to get them to my computer. So I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Okay, yeah. See, so Dropbox synchronizes. You know, it uses twice the bandwidth. Realize that each picture is going around is going 2 legs. It's of a triangle. First from the phone that took the picture to the web, and then from the web down to your computer. But that's where I want it. I want it on my computer.
Right.
And then I want to work with it in Picasa. Oh, look at that. That looks to me...
That looks like the one you cropped.
The edited. It does. It does.
You should have put some text on it to see. Just.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like it, though.
But what's that mean? That means if you edit and save, but the Google Plus auto backup may not have gotten to that until after I auto saved it. I mean, if it had taken the original on the first go around, well, we can test that on another one. But so now, so that's the iPad. Now I'm going to turn that off, grab my phone, and there's Google Plus on here. And it has a slightly different way of working. You know, there's no 3 dashes there for menu, so you have to, there's a new way to learn things on each device. I know that I have to tap on that down arrow, and now there's photos down at the bottom. And here are all those same photos. In all. Okay. So now, though, here's all those photos. Do I really want to hunt through thousands and thousands of photos anytime I want to see something? No. I look and decide which photos are my best, and I want to put those in albums. So, okay, unblue box the Jim-Chris, Judy, and we can put it back so that it's just, let me,
Chris.
Okay, so now you're seeing me again, right?
Yep.
This is so much fun.
It is kind of fun now that it's working.
Right. Now that it's working, I feel like a juggler.
One
yes.
question. Back up to, if you didn't have your Dropbox set up originally, you just go to settings and tell it to, how am I going to get my pictures to Dropbox if I don't have it set up that way?
Right. You're taking pictures with what?
My Galaxy S4.
Okay. Then, yeah, you install Dropbox on the Galaxy S4.
I do.
Go into settings and turn on camera upload.
Okay.
Camera upload. And then if any computer where you have Dropbox installed on the computer using the same account as the Dropbox on your phone, then you will have a camera uploads folder on your computer.
Okay. Then I can just cut them and paste them into my pictures.
Into my pictures, yeah. And then whatever else. See, if I just allowed Google Plus to automatically upload from the camera, it would get my smartphone pictures, but what about the pictures from this one? See, since I am just allowing Google Plus to auto backup from my pictures, it's getting these as well.
Right.
So that's my process. It's a little convoluted, and someday, you know, what Google is seeing the future. Google is seeing a future where there is no computer involved at all.
Right.
It's just the smartphone and the iPad and the Android tablets. Then, you know, when that day comes, when we aren't collecting them all on the computer, then yes, I'll just be letting them go straight from the camera or the pad, the tablet, to Google Plus, and then editing them and working with them there. Google Plus does have some editing features. So are you ready to see Google Plus photos on the computer and compare that to Picasa web albums?
Okay.
Or do you want to have questions, you know, how are we doing on time?
Oh, we're good. Anybody got questions before we move on? Joe.
At the class, I used to be able to, I wanted to print a picture, access a Walgreens or Walmart, I couldn't figure out how to do that.
Did you hear any of that?
No, you're going to have to repeat that.
Okay, I will.
Interesting. It's the women's voices.
He used to use the feature in Picasa where you could send your photos to Walgreens or Walmart for processing.
Yes.
Can you still do that? I guess he couldn't find it.
Yes.
He couldn't find it.
What happened is they took the buttons, you know, it's called Shop, and I have the button, but with 3.9, those buttons disappeared and you had to put them back. So let me share my screen again. and we'll do that. Okay, so now you're seeing my screen. And in
Right.
fact, we can maybe kill two birds with one stone and get a picture that is 2048 pixels and see how big a print Walgreens will make out of it.
Huh, good idea.
Is sharing your screen plus talkable? Okay, hide. So this picture that I cropped is 1587 by 1832. That's even smaller. Oh, this is a nice one anyway. Let's look at that one. And it's 1920 by 1080. Yeah, so it's already. Now I wonder why that is, because my phone takes bigger pictures than that. I'm not sure why that would be. But let's do an I'm feeling lucky on it. Let's a little bit of fill lights. There we go. And since the fill light lightened the whole picture, let's do a little bit of graduated tint to get the sky bluer back to being blue, and not his face though. All right. So I applied. So I say, I like that picture and I want a print of it. I have this shop button right down here, but wherein it says, can you see that? It says buy prints and products from your favorite online provider.
Can you see that, Joe?
But if you don't have that button, first of all, you can put it back by Tools, Configure Buttons. But, yeah, Tools, Configure Buttons, and if you just click Reset to Defaults, it puts all his buttons back. I don't know why they took them away, but they did.
Less clutter, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google's all about clean and streamlined.
I figure they must have some plans, because without the buttons, this is just a blank area. So maybe they have some plans for what they want to put there. Anyway, if you don't have the button, then it's under File and Order Prints.
Okay.
And it looks, and you can, all these vendors have a relationship with Picasa, with Google. And that's why they're here. And they will be in different order each time you come in, because that's just how Google tries to be fair and spread the love.
Oh.
But all of those are available as the direct.
I thought maybe it remembered which one you used.
Well, it does that. I mean, yes, Walmart is who I used last time and who I will use again, because hopefully it knows my username and password. Yes, it remembers my username and password, and it's going to put it into an album up on Walmart's site called 201407. That's fine. And I click OK. And what it's doing is it's uploading this full-size photo to the Walmart photo site in my account. And there it is. So now I can order prints. I check the box, because very likely you might have uploaded a dozen or so. So you would check whichever ones you want and order prints, and they tell you how big a print is supported by that picture. Okay, I haven't been in here in a long time. Order prints. How come nothing happened to give me any choices? Prints. I don't know.
How about up in there in the corner where it says sizes?
Up here?
Yeah, right there. What's that?
View photos small. That's just for showing a slideshow here.
Okay.
Okay. I think maybe I just have to click on the picture. Let me try this a little bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, then I think maybe then it'll offer you the choices of sizes.
Yeah. I click on the picture and I want a print. order these prints. 9 cents. Well, where do I tell it how big a print I want? Add to cart. Create projects?
You're getting bogged down here.
Yeah. Oh, is my sound. This is fun stuff to create photo mugs, photo books, greeting cards, calendars. All right. Well, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time figuring this out, so.
What's it say down there? Nothing size-wise?
Just order these prints. Matter glossy, 2 4x6. Well, somewhere in here there's options as to how big to make them. There we go.
Oh, there it comes.
8x10. Let's see if it'll allow me to make an 8x10 out of that. It'll cost me $2.84 to make an 8x10. But 4x6, 8x10, not ordered. Well, you know, we are on Walmart's website now. Just realize that. So this is their stuff. And I have ordered picture books and a bunch of stuff from them before. But update all settings here.
What's the little triangle by 8x10? Does that mean you can or you can't? Or?
Yeah, that means not recommended. There we go.
Okay.
So it's saying, yeah, not recommended, but it doesn't have it by the 5x7. Okay, so that's the answer for that.
Okay.
And I'm not actually going to order these, so I'm just going to leave this page.
Okay.
But that's a cool way to get pictures. You're going to get a higher quality picture than anything that you would print from your printer. And they can even put it in a frame. They can mail it to a family member who you want to send it to. You know, you still have to pay for it before you check out. But all right. So any other questions?
Any other questions?
I submitted a question to Vicki to forward about movies. And
yeah, no, I sent her that question. And let me see. Okay, so
yes.
I am able to make a movie tool, create.
Okay. Yes.
Do you remember that question, Chris?
I think so, and it had to do with music.
Well, I used to be able to do, you know, create a movie and add the music to it from my computer, and then I could send my family member the link, and then they could see that.
Right.
But
and
I can't do that. I don't know how.
Okay.
Anymore. It's changed.
Let me get some
I could just do a
pictures here.
slideshow, you know, just send 30 pictures and then they can view them as a slideshow, but not without all the music.
Okay. When I read that question, I said, okay, the way I would do that would be to create a movie using this button up here at the top, this Create Movie Presentation, and then upload that to YouTube. That's how I would do it. So I can select.
It was up here.
I can select a handful of pictures here. This is just from a hike in Colorado. And I can click on Create Movie Presentation. And it gives me the option here to add an audio track. So assuming you have music on your computer, you can tell it to get your music from the computer. And I apparently don't have any in this computer. I must have some in here. There. Okay, so I found a piece of music on my computer. And you have you been here before? Is this what you used to use?
Yeah, and then you can make it fit too. But before, I think it went up to like a web album, and then people just got a link. I never used YouTube.
Okay. Well, you can upload a movie to a web album, but YouTube is just a lot better at showing movies than Picasa web albums or Google Photos is. But you can still upload it. So if I fit photos into audio, the audio is 2 minutes and 42 seconds, and I only have 6 pictures here. So each picture is going to stay on way too long. Therefore, I'm going to choose truncate audio. Okay, so get the idea? Just select your pictures, add the music, and if you click on the YouTube button, then it just goes straight there. If you click on Create Movie, then it will appear in your library, and you can share it on Google Plus just like a picture. So it's in process of making the movie now.
When you put it on, if you put it on YouTube, can that be private? I mean,
yes. Well, the way I would put it on YouTube is, there is public, private, and anyone with link are the options. And I would make it anyone with link. Then anybody you send the link to can see it, but nobody else is going to happen upon it. It was the same way with the web albums. So, all right. So that ends up in your movies collection. And as I say, I could click on it. I could click on share on Google+. Okay. Did that answer that question?
She thinks so.
Okay.
She just has to go home and practice a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Somebody else asked a question about resizing photos. Is that person there?
That's the other one I was going to just mention. We had a question just about, we want more information on resizing and want to save resized photos to use later in emails.
Okay. First of all, if you're going to send photos in email, you don't have to go through all that. I'm going to go back to my screen again. Okay. And here are those pictures I took yesterday. And if I wanted to email this picture to Vicki or Judy, I would just click on the email button down at the bottom. And even if you haven't put buttons back, email is always there. Email, print, and export are always there. So notice that this picture is 847K. Well, that's not very big. Let me take one that I know is big. Okay. Yeah. All right. So this was also taken yesterday, but this was taken with my big camera. And it is 5.2 megabytes. That would absolutely choke any email. But if I click on the email button, and tell it I want to send this picture using Google Mail, notice that it has reduced it to 1.3 megabytes. How did it do that? I'm going to discard this and show you. In Tools, Options, and Email, it says, tell me what size you want pictures reduced to. And single pictures can be different from multiple pictures. So I'm going to say I just want that to be 1024 pixels wide. Notice the current one is 5184 wide. So this is going to reduce it by like to 20% of its current. So was somebody going to say something?
Nope, we're listening.
Okay. So I click on Email and Google Mail, and that picture is now 76K. Much better for sending in email. And the picture that they get is your edited version. So there's no reason to have to go through the export process and then attach to an email. You know, Picasa makes it single-click easy. And let me give a little plug for our Picasa tip of the week, because that was a tip of the week not long ago.
Somebody want to know, does that only work with Google Mail or Gmail?
Well, it works best with Google Mail. If you have, notice here I have two choices. I have Google Mail or my default email program. So if you're using Outlook or Windows Live or some other email program on your computer, Picasa can work with that. It can use that email program to send it, so that's no problem. If you have AOL or Yahoo or some other web-based email, then no. Gmail is absolutely the best way to do that. But once again, then, on this website is our special Picasa-only website. PicasaGeeks.com is what it's called. And if you put your name and email over here on the right, you will get an email every time we post a new tip in this. And one of the tips recently, I think, let's see, if I go to recent articles, viewing pictures on a map, putting pictures at your fingertip with Google+. That's kind of what we've been talking about here. Sort order, fancy frames, smile, blogger, timeline, workflow, older entries. Not too far back here was a don't make email so difficult. Yeah, emailing pictures, don't make it difficult. I've heard of people going to great lengths to prepare and email a picture. First they edit it and save it, then they export it for a smaller size, then they open their email program, when all you have to do is click the email button. And there also is an article in here. If you click on all articles, there's a lot. I've been doing this for several years.
And all of this is free, too.
Yeah, this is all completely free.
These are the free ones, huh?
Yep. And if you Control F, that's for find on a web page, and just type email, you will see every article, you know, it highlights the word email. So emailing photos with Picasa and Gmail, or emailing pictures through Gmail without using a Gmail address. Gmail is the best way to do this email, but some people say, but I don't want to use a Gmail address. You don't have to. So you could go to this article, Emailing pictures with Picasa is so easy. But here's how you use Gmail, but have it be from another email address. I'm not going to go into that now, but you can find it on picasageeks.com.
Okay.
All right.
That was probably my question, but see, I had 5 pictures. One person's only going to get 3, someone else is going to get 4, and I want all 5 to go to a third person. Well, I don't want to have to go through that every time. I want to store all 5 pictures on my computer, and then pick the ones I want to email. I'll use Gmail, but you need to store the resized pictures.
Okay. Okay. I gotcha. And that's all right. So let me show you how you would do that. So these picture of the deer that we saw yesterday, they are all big. He was a little ways away, and I took it with my big camera. So 7.6. So let's say that, and then there's the picture of the mountains. I'm going to just select a bunch. So that one deer is selected down here in the selection tray. And do you all know, how do I then add another picture to that selection tray? Hold down the control key and click the other picture. So now you see there's 2 pictures down here. Hold down a control key and click the third picture. Now there's 3 of them. And 4. And, oh, what else? There's that good-looking guy there. And, and there's that, oops, see, now I messed up. And now it's back to having the whole folder selected at 1062 pictures. I definitely don't want that. So therefore, I'm going to select the slightly longer way. I click on a picture of the garden. I click the little green hold button. You get a green dot. Now I can click on other pictures and hold. Click on a picture and hold. And every picture I click on and hold is being collected in the selection tray. Click, hold, click, hold, click, hold, and click and hold. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pictures selected. The only way to resize a picture using Picasa is with the export command. But it makes sense, you know. You want to keep your full-sized original, right? So you want to create a new picture that is the resize. So I click Export, Resize to. If 102, and here you have to understand, you don't really have to understand pixels. You just know that the bigger the number, the bigger the picture in the file is going to be. The smaller number, the smaller. And if you have a particular size in mind, you don't have to use the slider. You can type 2048, for example. Then you give it a location of where you want these pictures to go. So I'm going to browse, and I have a place just called junk that I use for this. So there's junk. So it's going to export it to users Chris junk, and then it adds the name of the current folder, but you can make that be anything you want. So I will say QCS example. So notice whatever I type in here is added to the path up here. So these 6 pictures will be exported to users Chris junk QCS example, and they will be resized to 2048 pixels. I click Export. And it should even pop up, yeah. So here is just my Windows Explorer window, and it's showing me my users Chris junk, and there's QCS example. There are the pictures, and let's see what size they are. I'm going to view in details. So now I made these relatively large. 2048 pixels is still pretty big, but there's still a lot less than 7 megabytes in file size, and that's how big it is. So now you would email and you would attach pictures from this folder. That make sense?
He said, thank you, that'll help.
Okay, so the answer is export. And know that you can do more than one at a time. And there is a video, and that's one of the videos that I sent you, Vicki, if they want to look at it later or something. So I'm going to clear, I have to click that red circle to clear the tray. All right, how many of you use Picasa web albums? Just
half a dozen or so.
a couple. Okay. Well, I would like to go through one little exercise, and Jim's going to help me do this, to try to explain the difference between Picasa web albums and Google+. Notice that I can just share on Google+ here. I cannot upload to Picasa web albums. It doesn't matter. They're going to the same place. So, Judy, you want Blue Box Gyms.
Okay.
Blue Box Gym. Because I'm going to... And Jim, share your screen with Picasa. There we go.
Okay.
Right. And go and show them your web albums.
Okay, my Google Plus albums, or go to...
It's the same thing. So yeah, show them how you would get to your Google Plus albums.
Okay.
From Picasa.
From Picasa, up in the upper right-hand corner, just Google Plus Photos.
Assuming that you are logged on, so his email address appeared directly to the left of that Google Plus Photos. Okay, so that is his Google Plus Photos.
You're seeing that then?
Yes.
I think so. I do.
Okay.
Now how do you know that that's Google Plus Photos? Just point out the address bar.
Okay, right up there. Has everybody seen that?
So that says plus.google.com/photos. And look at what we see. Photos from posts, profile photos, Chihuly in Denver, collages in 2014-06-16. He doesn't have anywhere near as many pictures as I do.
Nowhere near. No one has as many as you.
I have over 30,000 in my Picasa web albums / Google Plus Photos. All right, now open another tab. He's just in a browser here, probably Chrome. And if he opens up another tab, the way you get to Picasa web albums is picasaweb.google.com. And since he is logged into his account, when he goes to picasaweb.google.com, he will see his Picasa web albums. These are the exact same albums. Picasa web albums is just a different interface to the same pictures. And we're going to try to prove that, because this is something that people are really confused about. They don't want to use Google+, so they figure they can't use Picasa because it uploads to Google+. Well, no. You can still use Picasa web albums. So what we're going to do here, Jim is on Picasa web albums. Notice that there's an upload button. So this is another way of getting pictures up to the web and into a web album. He's going to click on upload and find a picture from today or yesterday. So click on select photos from your computer.
Okay, so these are some of the pictures that we took. Well, here's some from today.
That's from this morning, yeah, this afternoon.
Yeah. Okay, so I can get this one, and maybe I'll get this panorama that I took over there. I'll just control click and open. It's uploading the two pictures. And I just let the album name be today's date. I could have changed that, but that's fine. Okay.
And go ahead and click OK. And now go click back on just My Photos. No, right. Okay, that went back to Google+. I still wanted you to be on Picasa Web Albums for a minute, just to see the album.
Okay, I'm back there.
And click on My Photos, tab. There, so now we see a new album. Looking at it through the eyes of Picasa Web Albums, we see an album called July 28, 2014.
And that wasn't there before, and it has two pictures in it.
And also notice the little lock. That means that it's private. Only you, only Jim logged in, and we're seeing it because he's logged in. We're seeing his computer. Okay, now, yes, go back to the tab of your browser that has Google Plus photos.
There we go.
And now, I don't see that album yet, but if you refresh.
Let me refresh it. And there it is. Two photos, and it has July 28, 2014 as its title.
All right, go ahead and open it so we can see the two pictures.
Jim and Chris.
Yes.
Yeah. I got a sad story for you.
Uh-oh.
In all my haste to bring everything I thought I needed, I forgot my power cord.
Oh, you're running out of power?
My battery said I started out with 3 hours, but now it says I'm going to lose power very, very soon.
Oh, no.
So.
It's always something.
Yes.
Okay.
So 3 hours. I suppose we're using a lot of power to do all this. But
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
In case we drop off.
Right. I was just about done, and with the thing I wanted to show you, and then Vicki could choose a couple of those videos to show. That would be great.
Okay.
And you can do that on a different computer.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. Rather than getting cut off unceremoniously, I think maybe we should say goodbye and just see if there's any other questions just for us. Or did you drop already? Okay.
Well.
That was fun.
She's gone. We're still here. So actually, if she wanted to, she could get on another computer.
Yeah.
Within a few minutes, it doesn't make much time. Okay.
I mean, I think anyway. Vicki said she brought hers, but.
So I don't know what happens now. I guess if we all leave,
then they couldn't get back in. But if we're still here, they could.
But I don't think they know it. And
that's fine, really.
Yeah, it is. But the Hangout is still running.
Oh, she needs to end it in order to. And we never did get a phone number.
Okay, well, get the Jim Chris device off. Okay. Now you drop off.
Well, I don't seem to be able to hang up. Am I off?
Oh, you just came back on. There, it's off it now.
Okay.
Now you get off.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll get off.